coming out. My name is Russ Johnston, and I have the pleasure of welcoming you to the 4th annual Booth Kellogg Entrepreneurship Through Acquisition Conference. This event is a culmination of many months of effort from current students, faculty, alumni, and our gracious sponsors. So much of the benefit of this event, however, comes from all of you attending, and so thank you for your thoughtful questions, openness in meeting others, and discussing our mutual interest in entrepreneurship through acquisition. We have attendees from across the country and across the globe here today, so I'm sure somebody here brought the snow in because this is the first snow we've had in Chicago all year. The collective mileage traveled here serves as a powerful testament to the intellectual curiosity, passion for entrepreneurship, and willingness to engage that is so often difficult to find in any other setting in the business world, but is so evident in the ETA community at Booth and Kellogg. So thank you for coming out. We're excited to have you join us.
Thanks, Russ. Hi, everyone. I'm Tim Mendoza from Chicago Booth. Before we move too much further, I just want to take a quick moment, if we can, in honor of Veterans Day that's tomorrow. If we can recognize any former or currently serving members of the U.S. military, would you please take a stand so that we can show our collective appreciation for your service? Thank you so much. So putting on a conference of this scale is definitely no small feat. It's been quite an effort, a collaborative effort between Booth and Kellogg, the students and the faculty. The conference organizers have been working diligently since May in trying to finalize every detail, ensuring that we have all the right people to provide the most insightful conversations that we can. So many thanks to everybody who is involved, in the effort to put this conference together. And of course, I would be remiss if I did not recognize our sponsors, the generous support from all of our sponsors listed here, as well as in the program booklets. Thank you for your time and for investing in your resources and support of putting this conference on. And with that, I'd like to extend a special thank you to our platinum sponsor, a Booth alumnus, Sunil Grover, who is the founder and managing director of True Blue Partners. I'd like to also welcome him to the stage so that he can share with us his thoughts on the significance of this conference. Thank you. Sunil?
Thank you, Tim. Good morning, and welcome to the 4th annual Booth Kellogg Entrepreneurship Through Acquisition Conference. As I met with a lot of searchers and investors at breakfast and last night, one of the questions I was frequently asked, why am I sponsoring, or why is my firm sponsoring this conference? And I thought it most appropriate in my welcome remarks to share a little bit about my background and my motivation for supporting this effort. I graduated from Chicago Booth in '99, so I started in '97, and in 20 years, a lot has changed. For one, Booth and Kellogg are working together for 4 years in a row. Second, at Chicago Booth, I learned that the most popular, or the most bid upon, or the highest bid upon class is the ETA class. And I never could have imagined something like that, because I didn't know what ETA was when I was at business school at Chicago. Ben Graham. Warren Buffett has often referred to Ben Graham as his mentor, his advisor. Ben Graham is quoted to be saying, risk is the possibility of permanent loss of capital. When I invested in my education in Chicago Booth, I saw no risk. In fact, I went on triple margin. I borrowed 3 times the amount of total savings I had until that day and put it all on the line. I can imagine some of the students in the audience today might be in a similar position. Worry not. At least in my case, I was able to pay it off and be in the money within a year. And I'm pretty sure that's going to be true for you as well. And after that, I was playing the house. So I look at this sponsorship really as an investment in continued learning from what I'll hear and learn from the distinguished panelists and speakers, from the searchers, their experiences, and the students, and what they are looking to do as they proceed on this journey. When I was a student on campus, and I've heard this in common across all the top MBA programs as I've worked in different positions, consulting and investment banking had a predominant presence, an overwhelming presence on campus when I started. And that influenced the courses I took, that influenced the internship I had, and finally the first job I took out of business school. Part of the purpose of this sponsorship is to amplify the opportunity that exists through the ETA career path, whether you decide to pursue that after graduation or not, or many years after graduation, you come across opportunities and you know that this mechanism of acquiring, building, and growing a business and exiting exists, what the frameworks are, what the challenges are, and what the opportunities are. So for instance, when I got out of school, I went into investment banking. I used everything I learned from finance classes, accounting classes, case studies in financial management. Then I bootstrapped a company in Silicon Valley. I picked up on what I had learned in the classroom at New Venture Challenge or private equity financing when I was raising capital. But the most value I created for myself and for my investors was when I acquired a competitor and exited the business. But when I was doing that, when I look back at it, while the acquisition worked out fantastically, I continue to feel that I paid too much when I bought it. So the discipline of how do you go about searching in a disciplined way to look for that perfect acquisition, to execute on the theory or the thesis that you had put when you bought that business, and then the most important piece, to exit it so that everyone comes out ahead is something I'd like to remain engaged in, get involved in, and hopefully contribute to the ETA community. So with that, one other reason, of course, I want to sponsor is to get some brand recognition for the True Blue Partners platform. This is a boutique M&A advisory and investment, traditionally called as merchant banking firm that I have launched this year. So as you learn about ETA and benefit from it, either in your immediate jobs after graduation or at any time in your career, when you find those opportunities, hopefully the firm will have a special place in your hearts and minds. And if there are investment opportunities or when you're ready, if you're in the software or IT services space, when you're ready for an exit, we'd appreciate the invitation to help. So with that, thank you and welcome. Enjoy the conference.
Thank you, Sunil. Sunil's support and perspective reflects what the world of ETA is all about. Entrepreneurs in the world of ETA are able to stand on the shoulders of giants who so powerfully demonstrate generosity through their actions and words. Tim and I would like to share our views on why we believe this conference is such a powerful event. It's not often that you can get the crosstown rivals of Booth and Kellogg to collaborate on anything, and so it has been a fantastic experience from my perspective, though I'm sure Tim has something else to say. It highlights what's so great about the ETA community in general, however. Independent of where you come from, what your previous experience is, or how you fit within the community of ETA, the willingness to come together, pay forward benefits, and lend time and advice is common. My exposure to ETA through this conference as an attendee last year was instrumental in my understanding and conceptualization of ETA not only as a competitor to the traditional careers in consulting, finance, and technology that we so often hear about in our business schools, but it's an incredible opportunity to pursue entrepreneurship through using those skills that are so valued in those careers. The partnership between Booth and Kellogg is emblematic of the unique environment fostered at these institutions. An agnosticism to the pathway of ETA, but instead an emphasis on the opportunities for fundamental value creation through rigorous analysis and creative problem solving. I'd offer the parting thought: ETA is a pathway which allows entrepreneurs to take well-calculated risks in pursuing a self-directed career. It's an incredible passion in this room for entrepreneurship, and we encourage everyone to engage on that basis. Please take the time to engage freely with your peers, the panelists, moderators, and all of the other attendees today, and truly take advantage of the opportunity.
Thanks, Russ. Just echoing Russ's comments about the unique partnership between Booth and Kellogg, that collaborative effort extends well beyond just this conference. It goes into the curricular and co-curricular programming from both of our institutions, sharing best practices, lessons learned within the space, both in and out of the classroom, and also being the beneficiaries of the tremendous mentorship and guidance of entrepreneurial practitioners like Alex Schneider, Brad Moorhead, Brian O'Connor, and Mark Agnew. And lastly, to build on the point of engagement and support within the ETA ecosystem that makes this community truly unique, we've got a number of panelists, speakers, moderators here from various backgrounds that will be sure to drive informative and insightful conversations throughout the day. But just as important to us is you being able to walk away from the conference today with insights, tips, tactics to think about this further or potentially pursue it yourself. Just as important to us is everyone's level of engagement and connection here within the ETA community. For myself, I came to Booth never having heard of ETA search funds or anything like that, and really just equating entrepreneurship with startups. But this conference last year helped me realize that there's so much more to it than that, that you can still get the same level of entrepreneurial autonomy, creative thought, and ambition for success, but in, I'd go so far as to say a more definable and risk-mitigated manner. So definitely take advantage of your time here today to connect with one another. Please, take the opportunity to ask thoughtful questions during the Q&A segments, get out of your seats during the breaks, get to know each other. And if at any point during the conference you need assistance or clarification on anything, don't hesitate to reach out to any of us conference organizers with the pink tags on our name tags.